I want to show you how I put outriggers on this kayak. This happens to be a Pelican. It's a Pelican Castaway 11.6, and it came with these built-in rod holders, but I'm going to show you a way that you can do it on yours too if you don't have those, if you're working with something other than a Pelican. And but these are some pretty cool outriggers using crab floats, which I think are much more pretty than a Coke bottle. And I've had it in the water. It works great. It looks great. So let's get to it. We have got an identical kayak right here, and I'll show you how I did this and how you can do it on yours. But before we start doing that, let me also show you a future project. Is going to be a rudder for it, and I just give you a little teaser on that, so you'll have to watch for that video, but you won't know it exists unless you subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit send me updates sprocket. It says subscribe, got a little sprocket there, click on it, send me updates, you get an email. So let's get started. Okay, if you're working with this particular kayak, the Pelican, and you're probably not, but if you are working with this particular kayak, you'll use these built-in rod holders. I'm going in here with 5.5 inch piece. I'm putting a coupling on the back side of it just simply because it really puts it in a bind in that well right there if you have a coupling on there, more so than it does if you just got the 1 inch pipe. And that is 1 inch. I don't know whether I said that. 1 inch electrical conduit. This is not regular PVC. I mean, it's PVC. This is not regular Schedule 40 household plumbing PVC. It is electrical PVC, and I like it because it's thicker. I don't think it gets brittle in the wintertime in the cold like regular PVC does, so I would recommend you use this. It's just it's the same. You can use the same fittings. You can buy couplings and some of the other fittings, but it comes already expanded, 10-foot lengths, so you can use that. The 90, this is a 90. Instead of buying the little white elbow in PVC, that is the 90 you use in this Schedule 40 Schedule 40 EMT. It's not EMT because it's not electrical. That's what they call it. Rigid PVC non-metallic conduit. Okay, and this is 1 inch. 1 inch fixed in here, perfect. Except it's a little sloppy. So to fix that slop, you add these couplings, and that really makes it tight in there. It's pretty tight, pretty hard to even put the pipe in there because it's so tight. So that's what we'll do. This is going to be a 5.5 inch coming out, and then we will put a coupling on it right there. We will put the 90 on it. That brings you out to where you can put the another one piece, and you got an outrigger. But if you don't have the Pelican, here's what you'll do. Come in here with a rod holder, a flush mount rod holder. You may already have one. Your kayak may come with 2 of them on this side, and then come out with some sort of piece, some length of 1 inch of this conduit, and then put a 90 like that on it, and that will get you up to where you need to go. Will get you up and out to form your outrigger. If a 90 won't do it, get a 90 and a 45. With a 90 and a 45, you can make just about any angle you want to. You can come out of this, come in here with the 45, and kick it down, kick it out. You can have this actually coming up and down, and then have a 45 kicking out. There's just so many ways you can, with a 90 and a 45 and maybe some more of the straight pipe, you can make this configuration to do anything you need to do. If you want to come out of your rod holder like that, come out with a 90, and then maybe even put another 90 on it. You just have to kind of work that on your own, because I don't know what your kayak looks like. But it can be done. What I'm getting at is it can be done not just on the Pelican Castaway, it can be done on any kayak. So you'll come out, either you'll put in some rod holders, or you'll use your existing rod holders and use this pipe. I'm really sold on this because of that huge 90 degree. That just gives you so many options. I mean, that's That's a foot of pipe that you use up, that they used up making that 90. I really like it. They does come again in the 45s and the 90s. See if I can pull that apart so you can see the difference in the two. Okay, 90, 45. So I will put, we'll cut that piece there, 5.5 inches. I'll have another piece, 5.5 inches before this starts, and then I'll come down and have a piece that is about 11 inches coming off this. Let me get the cut. All right, we're gonna cut these at 5.5. I've already cut that one, so I'm just using it as a measurement. By the way, if you don't have a pair of these, if you're still using hacksaws, I highly recommend that. I don't remember what I paid for it. It wasn't that much, 20 bucks, something like that. And man, I went for 40 years cutting with a hacksaw. I just had these for about a year and I love them. Make short work of PVC, and if you ever use them, you won't go back. Opens up. These will cut, I think, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and this is inch pipe, so it's doing it perfect job on that. Get you some. So on the Pelican, using the existing rod holders, or if your kayak has existing rod holders, you'll use those. This is probably a 45 degree. I'm not exactly sure, but it's probably around 45 degrees. Stuck this 5.5 inch piece of the PVC conduit through the rod holder. I put a coupling on the back side of it, a coupling on the front side. Main reason is to make it tight. It is snug because this coupling is really too big for that little hole right there, that indentation that it has in the plastic in the kayak. So it really snugs it up. I will come off of this with the 90 degree, and then come off of that with another piece. In this case, it's going to be about, this is a 5.5 inch piece, but in my case, it's about a 10 or 11 inch piece coming down that far to get you down to the water line where you're going to have your tee. Okay, so that's how you'll do it on the Pelican. But I know you don't have a Pelican. You've got something else that's got rod holders right here, or you can buy some rod holders, and I'll put a link underneath to some rod holders that are 45 or a flush mount. What I'm talking about is a flush mount rod holder, and they come in different configurations where you can put it on something like that that's a 45, and the rod holder will come out like that because the top of the flush mount is at a 45. Then they've got some top flush mounts that are 90, or look to me to be 90, and you just put it right down in there. So let's assume that you've got a 45 flush mount right there. You'll come off of it with your pipe. You'll put probably, you'll have to see how long it is. I don't know how deep the rod holder is, but where the pipe will go down in there, you'll put a coupling on the your PVC that's going down in your rod holder, and that will bring you down to this 90 and will out to your outriggers. If it's a flush mount and going straight up and down, not at a 45, then you'll do the same thing. You'll put a piece of down in there, down in your flush mount, and if it's 90 degrees is when I say flush. It's a flush mount, but it's 90 degrees instead of a 45. Then you'll still come off here with that 90. You'll have a pipe sticking up, put a coupling on it with that 90, and then down here you'll put maybe another 90, okay, like that, and then sweep it back. You can go drop it straight down, okay, and then come off here with a 45. There's just so many ways you can configure this. You can do that. You can sweep it back like that. You can do a 45 and a 90. You know, I don't know what your kayak looks like, but a 45 and a 90 will do something like this. and then you can come off that with your straight piece down to your T and your outriggers, your floats. So there's just so many ways to do it. You'll have to figure that out on your own because I don't know what your kayak looks like. But these a 90 and a 45 or two 90s can get you just about any configuration you want to have. So let's go back and work with what I have right here. So once you get your bend here, we'll put an 11-inch piece right there. We'll put a T on the bottom of that, and the PVC fittings work on this gray pipe. So we're going to go from here down to a T. If you're going to put the outriggers on it with the crab floats, get a 1-inch by 3/4. Both of them glue. This is glue. That's glue. Put it in. You'll put a 3/4-inch PVC pipe on it. It can be white, can be gray, whichever you like. And you'll slide your crab floats on there. I had to bore mine out. I think I showed you that. But they'll slide on there, and then you'll put a cap on it, and you're done. If you're going to use a soda bottle, and I haven't done this, so I'm just going by what other people have said, you'll use a 1-inch by 3/4, well, no, a 1-inch by 3/4 glue, but you will have to file down just a little bit, not all the way, file down the threads on this soda bottle, 2-liter bottle, to where they'll slide in there, and then epoxy it or glue it in there, maybe some marine glue, something like that, and you'll put one on each side. Put one here, put one here, another fitting on that side, and put two 2-liter bottles on each side like that. And then all you have to do is line it up, because this is moving. You don't know what you want this length to be. You know about what you want this to be. You want this to come off at a 45-degree perpendicular to the center line of your kayak. And I'll show you how I do that. I do that by marking off some chalk lines in the garage. So here's the crab float. They say that it's got a 3/4-inch hole in the middle. I would beg to differ with them. It's more like a 1/2 inch probably, the way it comes out of the mold, I'm sure. So what I did was, as you can see all the scraps here, I took a 1-inch bit and ran through, just reamed it out both sides, and that way it will now tightly accommodate the 3/4 PVC. Here are the 4 crab floats with PVC in it and with the caps on it ready to go in the T's on the outriggers. I left them a little long here. What I'll do is cut them off probably 1/2 inch away, and I'll probably, just to clean things up, make it look a little prettier, I will put a 3/4 cap. I'll cut that off to about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch away from the crab float. The way you line it up, I measured the stern here, the height of the stern. I propped up the bow to the same height, so my canoe is level this way. I leveled it here. My canoe is level this way, and then I snapped some chalk lines. You can see they're pretty much gone right now. You can see that one. That's where I put the bow and the stern. You'll line it up perfectly straight on that chalk line. And I snapped another line over here about 3 feet away, and another one over on this side about 3 feet away from this line here, from your center line, about 3 feet off, 2.5 feet, 3 feet off. And then before I put my crab floats on, I just had 3/4 PVC pipe in those fittings right there, and I just lined it up and backed up and looked at the chalk line, looked at the PVC pipe. Then I would measure here and measure here and try to get the same height on the bottom, the backwards and the forward float outrigger. And I'd also try to get it straight. You want it straight with the kayak. You want it tracking straight. You don't want it pigeon-toed or sticking out like that. It's going to be too much drag, so you want to get it as straight as you possibly can. along with this line here, same way over here, I just had the 3/4 pipe on here before I put the floats on it, and just backed off like this with the pipe lined up, just eyeballed it, lined up that stripe, that chalk line with the 3/4 pipe until I liked it. When I liked it, I put a mark on it, put a mark on either side, a little white mark, and then I drilled it. Again, your level here, your level here, your level here, and your perpendicular, parallel with that line there. The line's kind of faded, but when I did it, it wasn't faded. I parallel with that line. So there's several varying factors here you have to line up. Then once I did, then I drilled a hole in here to keep it from moving this way. It's stationary now, it won't go anywhere. And again, I haven't fixed, the only thing I haven't glued is this one right here, because I'm not sure how deep the kayak's going to sit in the water and how deep this will need to be. This may be too deep. It may not be deep enough, but it may be too deep. So I haven't glued that yet. I've glued it here, all that down in there. The only thing I haven't glued is there, and I've got the marks on it, what I know to be straight, okay, true to the center of the kayak. So easy outriggers. These crab floats are easy to find. I'll put some links below the video to them. May not be just the exact color, but this color kind of matched my boat, so I went with the green. Test out that length right there, how deep these need to be. And of course, the deeper you go, the further out you go, which should give you more stability. Some people might want them just barely touching the water or not touching the water at all. You know, you're going to have a little drag there when you're paddling. If you want to be able to paddle fast and not worry about your training wheels here, then you want to perhaps not set them quite as deep. I'm about 200 pounds, so I'm a little chunky and a little old. And I want my training wheels I want my training wheels down there. So, but again, all you do is pull the pin out here, flip that up, okay, pull your pin out here, flip this one up, and they are up and out of the way. I'm going to paint them, obviously, not leave them gray, but I'm going to paint them, and I think it's going to look pretty good. Cap off the ends here, and I think it's going to look pretty good. Got a little cart underneath. I like that cart. Cheap. I'll put a link to it underneath the video also. Got some great reviews on it, and I went ahead and bought it. I think it's under 30 bucks. Nice little cart. Fits this kayak real well. Makes it pull real well. The older you get, the more you don't want to carry it down to the lake. So this is going to be good. All right, I believe that's it till we put her in the water.